The men's way of life is the men's way of life. A guy can be a man in a variety of ways when someone instructs him to be a man. Men are not only things to be. It is also a way of being, walking, and following a route. Some men want to elevate masculinity to its highest value. Others think masculinity has no significance at all. Although being a dominant guy can bring you power, it can't mean everything. Being a nice guy has always had some significance. In most cultures, masculinity and femininity have been seen as complementing opposites. Saying that femininity is that which is least masculine and masculinity is that which is least feminine makes sense. That being said, boys and girls do not form pairs at birth and run off to a cave together, so stating that doesn't really teach us anything about the way guys behave. Social creatures like humans have always existed. We all live in communal communities. We may all be classified as male or female by our appearance. As members of one group or another, we socially interact. These divisions amongst us are not based on culture or chance. Men who are biologically masculine must interact with both male and female groups in a fundamental way. Men aren't only responding to women's validation. How men see themselves in relation to other guys greatly influences how we respond to other males as men. As a man who belongs to a tribe. A man is a man among men, not just another guy. In a society dominated by men, being a decent man has less to do with a guy's relationships with specific women or specific groups of women and more to do with his capacity to thrive with men and within his groups of men. When someone encourages a guy to be a man, they are ideally urging him to be more like the majority of men. Women think that by making masculinity about what they want from men, they can make men better. Men want women to desire them, but this is not their main concern. Men compete with one another for status because they want to win each other's respect. In the past, men who other men respected were regarded as more attractive, and women were drawn to or claimed by those males. Male approval has often had an impact on female approval. Being a man among other men is what it means to be an alpha male. Above all, being a man is about what other guys desire from you. Because there are so many distinct groups of men, all of whom have different expectations of their established group of men, the way of men may seem to be complicated. This is because wealthy and powerful individuals have long desired that men think that being a man is about obligation and obedience, or that masculinity may be shown by obtaining riches and power, but it can't. Manhood can be shown by different forms of self-mastery, self-denial, self-sacrifice, or evangelism, according to men of religion and ideology who have long encouraged men to think that becoming a man was a spiritual or moral activity. Men who have something to sell have long urged men to think that being a member of a cohesive tribe with a strong sense of self may prove or enhance one's masculinity. The goals of male organizations and the ways of men are somewhat in accord. The path of men is uncertain in a complicated international, individualistic, fragmented civilization with various thin a la carte identities. It's easy to see why when the methods promoted by strong and wealthy men are mixed up with those of gurus and concept ideologues and confused with the macho trinkets of merchants. Men may be everything or nothing, according to some. Add to that the changes advocated by women, and the way of men devolves into a jumble of notions that make it impossible to grasp who men are, what unites them, or why they find it so difficult to establish their own value in the eyes of others. For most of our existence on this planet, mankind has been a comparatively recent addition to vast, sophisticated civilizations with millions of inhabitants. Men have formed tiny survivalist groups to protect themselves from their hazardous surroundings, competing with other bands of men for resources and women. Understanding the most fundamental social unit of mankind is necessary to comprehend how they interact with one another. Knowledge of what men seek from one another necessitates an understanding of what men have historically required from one another in terms of how these requirements have fashioned male psychology, freed from moral pretension and folkloric attire. To be a decent guy in a tiny, persecuted gang of men striving to live means being excellent at being a man, as all men instinctively know. That gang lives by the principles of men. Thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos.